Hi everyone, I'm dear Linda. I'm Gemma's mom. I want to tell you a little bit about my daughter Gemma. When she was 9 years old, she was very, very ill and we didn't know what was wrong with her. We thought she was anemic, and on Christmas Day, 25th December 2016, she started bleeding from her mouth and nose. And 2 days later, she was diagnosed with cancer, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is a cancer that invades the blood, red, white, and cells and the platelets and the bone marrow. So we were totally devastated and caught off guard by what was required to fight this illness, and we didn't even have proper medical aid at the time. We only had a hospital plan in place. So this experience really shocked us and changed us because we didn't think it would happen to our little girl. She was only 9 years old. She didn't like needles and syringes and medications and things like that anyway, so now she had to go through really stiff protocols in order to fight this cancer. So for the first 6 months, she was hospitalized and she had extensive chemo every single day, and Red Cross was basically our second home. And after that, she had to receive treatment on an outpatient basis, which she received actually for 2.5 years. And it meant that, her weight changed. She actually developed a moon face. She needed counseling. She needed to eat properly. And there was just a whole lot of things that had to happen. So since Christmas 2016, we've really climbed so many mountains, fallen and slipped and got back on again. 4 years of trauma, pain, suffering. And, she spent it in about 5 different Cape Town hospitals with intensive chemo protocols, probably like times 100. Biopsies, spinal taps, lumbar punches, thousands of needles, and double that amount of pills, many bags of intravenous infusions and life-saving blood transfusions, and of course the horror of daily side effects and emotional pain. She had 7 surgeries altogether, 2 of which were an emergency. And although she was in remission since March 2019, she relapsed during COVID and lockdown in March 2020. She had to have a bone marrow transplant, and fortunately her sister, who's now 16, was her donor. But she had to have intense transplant conditioning, which included 6 days of full body radiation of 90 minutes each. She was altogether 31 days in the transplant unit, and at the end of that, she was discharged sort of towards the end of October last year. So when she was discharged, she had possible clotting on the lung and the threat of pulmonary embolism. She suffered graft versus host disease, a superbug resistant to antibiotics, and she's been battling ever since. And even though she's at home and we're looking after her and she's at hospital on an outpatient basis, she actually suffers from Cushing's syndrome, which is as a result of all the pills she needs to take every day and the steroids and the immunosuppressants. So she attends hospital every Tuesday for a long time still to come. But the Cushing syndrome means that she's quite big. Her face has physically changed. She's got a lot of hair growing all over her body. And she's actually not in a very good space a lot of the time. But we're hoping that the recovery will, it'll hopefully just be this year and her life can go back to normal.